Joke Vlog.
Hey guys, just got back from seeing Shazam, the #1 movie in the country. Saw it this morning. Long story short, I'm going to be giving you a review of it. Yes, I know, fashionably late, but not as late as watching it get to Netflix, Hulu, Prime, what have you. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I liked the movie. I would give it 3 out of 4 stars, and I would praise it for what it is lacking. We have managed to go through, in 2019, an entire superhero film without a browbeating from feminist propaganda or any kind of weird racial undertones. There is diversity in this movie, handled correctly. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the spoilers. So, the movie starts off with this kid, Thad. He's on some dark trip in New York, upstate. He's heading to go see Grandpa, and he gets teleported to some weird realm where there's a giant manhunt suit. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of recycled actors from other DC franchises that didn't quite get off, or even Marvel stuff. He's this weird, long bearded wizard, and he's like, hey, I'm looking for someone to take my place, but look, there's some temptation. You have to pass this test. Real simple test. Don't go grab the orb. Kid goes and grabs the goddamn orb. He says you failed. Puts him back in the car. Car gets hit, spun around. He's blamed for the injury of his dad, who I thought actually died. Well, then we fast forward to today, and we got this kid, Billy Batson. He's a bit of a scoundrel, nothing malevolent. He just pranks some cops. He's looking for his mom, who he lost when he was a little boy, and he's in the foster care system, and things aren't a bright future for him. He's getting put into a new foster care group led by Jerry from The Walking Dead. I'm like, shit, first time seeing this guy in a movie. And I really like the core cast of this young kid group. We have this little girl, Darla. She's a darling. I guess she's on This Is Us, a Overwatch drama I don't watch on NBC. We have this other chick with a big mouth. She's getting into college. Quiet Hispanic guy. And then we have Freddie, kind of the star of the show. Fast-talking kid. Has a hand crutch type thing. Something I've been wanting to incorporate in characters for some time, and I'm going to get accused of ripping this off when I do. And he serves as like Billy's friend and gateway into the superhero world. He tells him about Batman. Hey, I've got this replica Batarang, and here's a genuine bullet that was shot, 9mm shot, it bounced right off. Superman got crushed. Totally cool stuff. Could be worth $600. He's saying things like this. And the important thing here is, Shazam doesn't know if it wants to be incorporated in the DC extended universe or not. It makes reference and acknowledges the existence of other superheroes, or what do they call them in them? It was like alternate beings. I forgot. It doesn't know if it really wants to be in there, because even at the end of the movie, you get a cameo from Superman below the neck. It's like, we don't know which actor we want playing Superman in this. Is this going to make the movie feel dated if it's the last guy? Though it is the current costume. I don't think that it really knows where it wants to go, and with that in mind, you don't know where DC is going with the Justice League, if anywhere at all. They may have been unjustified. I think that this movie could have been funnier, though. There are attempts at humor here, and the kid, Billy gets transported to this realm when things go really shit bad. You got Mark Strong shows up, bald, so you know he's the villain. And he's like, hey, I was that kid Thad early in the movie, and I was teleported to this realm, and all this crazy shit happened to me when I was a kid, and I never got this out of my mind. I'm researching it. Other people have been teleported. This wizard is really bored, and he's abducting kids, and he's making them touch his shaft and shit. But they're failing the test. Well, he breaks into the realm, and I'm thinking this movie gets weirdly dark in places, because like he draws some stuff on this wall, and this gal research assistant just like hits the door and disintegrates, and it's pretty gruesome. Like, okay, so it's an enchanted door. You tap it hard, you're gonna have this kind of problem. Like, I didn't see that shit coming. He goes through. He's like, guess what? I'm not a good person, you're right, and I'm going to steal this orb that has all the bad powers in it, the 7 deadly sins, your mortal enemies, all this shit, goodbye. He gets their powers, right? Now the wizard, I guess, is on the ropes, and he's just like, all right, next person the staff brings me. Yeah, shit, I'm done with this. He can have it. It's like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The guy's not like, oh, hey, I'm the knight. I'm sworn to protect this thing. Now we must fight to the death. He's like, here, I'm ready to check out. My shift's over. Take the sword. Kill me. That's this guy right here. And you get the funniest moment in the film when he goes to Billy and he's like, all right, now grab my shaft and say my name. He's like, gross. Funniest moment in the movie. Unfortunately, he transfers into, like, he says Shazam gets the power of the guy and all of the other gods or wizards. And he becomes Zachary Levi in like a puffy suit. Kind of a throwback, bold choice. They're constantly making fun of his costume when people see him in the movie. And it's understandable. But Zachary Levi's not particularly funny. And this movie, I think, lowballed it with the talent. There's not like A-listers at the top of this, and maybe that kept costs low, allowed them to be a little more ambitious with this and try to not necessarily connect it to stuff. The effects looked fine enough, and you know, it is something nice to see shadows in a superhero movie, especially one that's not taking itself too terribly seriously. Looking at you, all that Avengers shit. Yeah, go watch any of that Avengers lineup stuff, any of that Russo Brothers bullshit, and tell me where shadows are. Tell me where color correction didn't severely desaturate tones. So the movie looks fine enough, and yeah, there are some hits and misses with the jokes. They go around this loop-de-loop of YouTube fame. Let's see what kind of superpowers the kid's got, because he's asking his buddy Freddy to kind of keep this on the DL, because you know, you don't want to get kidnapped if you're the superhero guy's family or friends, right? Well, Mark Strong goes looking for him. I'm thinking Mark Strong. Should I call him Thad? Which is it? And he's piecing some stuff together. He's like, I have to vanquish the champion of the old wizard guy, so I can fulfill the powers of the stuff that's controlling me. All that stuff, right? And that's kind of your central setup here. And it's weird to think that lighthearted, big, like kid becomes adult, but superhero also has a villain to it. And maybe in some ways it would have been a stronger movie without the villain presence. But to the credit of the villain, it's nice how this guy actually has a vendetta. Like, you judged me as a kid, really? That you're going to pull that on me? Well, screw you, wizard, right? I liked this setup there. And I like the desperation attempt that puts this 14-year-old boy who doesn't abuse his powers. Yeah, he gets some money in here or there, and he buys beer once. Oh, so what? I thought it was lighthearted enough, but you could see a teen audience going to this, and there were some points where it tried to raise the stakes, like attacking all these people in this boardroom. Guy gets his head ripped off and thrown out a building and shit, and it's like, okay, you dispose of the body so we don't see it bleed. You throw a guy out the building, but we don't see him make that impact. PG-13, is that how we're rolling here? You know, it's like I've been telling people, PG-13 for The Dark Knight, because you take a shotgun, you shoot a guy, you don't see the impact. PG-13. So eventually they're brawling it out. Shazam has realized most of his powers, I'm assuming by now, and a bit of a curveball. All of his little brothers and sisters all end up getting powers, but they learn immediately how to use all this stuff, and we just spent a whole movie with Billy trying to figure out how to fly and shit. A little weird. I liked the fun of the spectacle at the end. It wasn't too much. It wasn't cities have to fall, half the universe's population has to be depleted. It wasn't any of this too much stuff. It was fairly grounded. It was in Philadelphia. Born and raised on a playground is where I spend most of my days. And I really liked the work of most of the cast here. Yeah, it's weird to think that the main guy was the downfall. I actually preferred the kid acting as Billy, especially when it came to having an arc in a film. You know, this is a complete superhero movie. We have arc for our characters, various characters for that matter. It's something that's missing out of the MCU, where you have to go in with, you know, a learned past on these characters. You have to have a BGS and be working on your master's to be deciphering what's going to happen next and to make any sense comment on it without being seen as a troll. You know, these MCU films, particularly Avengers, just feel like the second act of a movie. There's no arc in any of them, not any one particular movie. You just, here's the action, and it's basically an extended trailer for the next ticket you're expected to buy. It felt good to have something feel complete for a change. Yeah, like I said, I give Shazam 3 out of 4 stars.
Like, comment, share, follow, subscribe. Vaughan Jog Vlog is made possible by your support on Patreon. Patreon.com/Vaughan Fry. Because Google.